Congratulations on your admittance, and welcome to BC Law. I know we've all been through a lot over the last several months, and I understand the hardships you all have faced this spring during the COVID-19 pandemic. For those of you coming directly from undergraduate school, your last semester was quite different, and many of you faced significant challenges, both academically and personally. We understand those challenges, and we also understand that your paths to law school are all different. Whatever your experience has been coming into BC Law, our goal now is to prepare every one of you for success as you enter law school, particularly in this new COVID-19 reality. We are implementing procedures that focus on prioritizing your academic experience while ensuring the safety of all in our community. Our goal is to make your first year experience as robust, challenging, and fulfilling as possible. The 0L online course you're about to take is designed to give you the initial tools for success before you arrive on campus. This first video you're about to see attempts to cover some important introductory concepts about what law school, and BC Law in particular, is like. After this, you will move on to the main 0L course modules, which will cover important legal terms, concepts, and cases.
Hi, I'm Mary Bilder. I'm the Founders Professor of Law at Boston College Law School, and I'm here with Vince Rougeau, the Dean of Boston College Law School, to talk a little bit about what you can expect for your first year. So, hi, Vince.
Hi, Mary.
Hi. You've been Dean at Boston College since 2011?
That's right.
That's great, and we both are wonderfully fortunate to teach in the first year. I teach property and you teach.
I teach contracts when I get a chance to do that.
Yeah, we've taught a section together.
That's
and
right.
We're here today to tell the 1Ls, the first year incoming students, a little bit about what they can expect their first year.
Great.
So we come to law school from different places, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about what brought you to law school.
I think for me, I was really intrigued by the ways that law could be used in many different areas of life and in one's profession. My father was a lawyer, so that gave me some insight, but he never really practiced law traditionally most of his career. He was doing a lot of different things. He worked in the civil rights movement, he worked in the government, he worked for nonprofits, and he worked for a big corporation. So I guess the example I had about what you could do with a law degree was that it was very versatile, and it seemed like the right direction for me at the time.
I mean, tell us a little bit more about your dad's experience in law school, because he went to law school at a very different time and place.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he was, as I said, very involved in the civil rights movement. And fortunately for him, after a difficult experience being imprisoned because of his activities in the South in the early 1960s, he was able to use that experience and was able to translate that experience of social change and pushing for social change into a way of using the legal profession to engage social change more broadly across the country and across many different areas of life.
I mean, some of our students come with families who are lawyers, who have worked in law firms, but many of our students might be first-generation law students, first people in their family to come to law school, and they may not know lawyers. How might their experience of coming here be different?
Yeah, one thing that you have when someone in your family's gone to law school is familiarity with a lot of the things that lawyers do, the terminology they use, the kinds of situations in which law is important. So if you don't have that experience in your background, it is a bit daunting. You're going to hear a lot of terms in the classroom. You're going to hear people talking about things that you just don't know. But I think it's really important to always remember that it isn't stupid, it isn't wrong to say, I've never heard that term before. Can you explain to me what it means? Or why is that important? Because one of the things that marks a great lawyer is a sort of curiosity and an ability to kind of dive into a topic and learn more about it. So don't feel ashamed or embarrassed about the fact that you don't know some things about what lawyers do. That's why you're here. So take advantage of those early weeks and months of law school to really dive down into those questions and get more information about it. There are going to be a lot of other people who feel the same.
And that's probably true also for you were an international relations major at Brown, but we have people who come here from sciences backgrounds, from art backgrounds, who've never grown up in the United States. Would that advice be true for them also?
Mary, I remember a student who came to see me who had been an engineer, and he was really struggling in the first few weeks of law school, and he kept saying to me, you know, Professor, I cannot understand any of this material. Every time I think I understand the answer, somebody says something different, and then you say, that's possible too. And, you know, how can it be that there's no clear answer? How can we actually learn the law if there isn't a specific answer? And by visiting me and spending some time thinking about that, he kind of worked through his own fear of sort of letting go of this notion that everything had to have a specific answer. And he ended up being one of the best students in the class, even though he came in as probably one of the most confused. So I always think of that as a great example of someone, no experience in law, coming out of the STEM field, but ending up really loving law because he allowed himself to kind of break out of some of his old ways of thinking and embracing new ones.
If you had to pick one thing that would be the scariest thing about starting the first month of law school, what would it be?
I think it's waiting to be called on. That's what it was for me. But, it's never as bad as you think it's going to be.
Yeah. And for some people, it's pretty bad. I remember when I was called on, I looked down at my notes and I couldn't see anything, even though I was there. I just had to trust myself that my voice would say something.
Yeah, no, it's true. And, and sometimes you get things wrong. I mean, I remember being called on and sort of not totally getting it. But, it helped me learn, and it wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and you realize pretty soon that no one else remembers you were even called on.
This is so true, right? Because everyone, once it's over, and we're on to the next thing.
Yeah, everybody's thinking about their own situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, people have probably been given a lot of advice from friends and family about what to expect. What do you think they might not want to follow that their friends and family have told them?
One of the things I think people hear a lot about law school is, oh, how hard it is, how scary it is, and you're going to have to work all the time. Two things that I like to remind students is, just because people work a lot doesn't mean that they work smart. And I think one of the things you want to focus on when you come to law school is, how can I be a disciplined learner? The fact that you spend tons of time doing something doesn't mean that you're doing it well. So, learning what's important to learn, learning how to read appropriately, learning how to ask good questions, learning how to spend your time in ways that allows you to really maximize what you're doing. You're going to have to take some breaks. It's good to have a life. So don't let the fact that some people work all the time intimidate you. The other thing I always think about is the person who talks the most isn't always the person who knows the most. You're going to hear a lot of people who have a lot of confidence say what they think in a classroom, and that's great. People who feel that confidence should speak. But that doesn't necessarily mean they know more than you or that they're going to do better than you. Some of the best students are the ones who are the quietest. One of the great skills you learn in law school is how to speak, and publicly and appropriately, but don't think that just because you don't know the answer or that you think someone else knows it, that really you're falling behind.
Yeah, it's like doing anything new, you have to be willing to be a little bit outside your comfort zone for a while.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Exactly.
So BC Law has a high standard of excellence for students and staff and faculty, and how hard is law school really?
Well, law school is hard. I think it's fine to understand that and to go into that recognizing that, but I think it's hard because it's demanding and it's pushing you to really be academically excellent, to really hone skills that are going to carry you through the rest of your life. Really working hard on your writing, really working hard on thinking logically and thinking precisely, understanding why it's really important to organize your thoughts in a certain kind of way. It's not that people don't do that in other contexts, but law really pushes you to do that in a way that a lot of people don't have to do, and it's really critical that you master those skills. So don't shirk from law school or from the education you're going to get in law school because it's hard. Kind of embrace it and use it as a way of sort of pushing yourself toward greater excellence.
Yeah, I think I had thought I had worked hard, and then when I went to first year law school, I remember it took me just a really long time to read a case and figure out what was going on those early weeks.
Exactly. And it's not the kind of reading that anyone has normally done in the past. You might have read like 12 books for a literature class and thought, wow, that was great. Well, this isn't literature. It's a different kind of reading, and 30 pages of law reading is sometimes like reading a novel because you really have to spend a lot of time on it.
Yeah, no, I remember I read a case the first week and I think I had to look up almost every word.
Right, exactly. And that's part of the process, right? In each of those sort of side tracks or those little sidebars of activity, you're expanding your knowledge.
Yeah. What do you think we do here at BC Law School that really helps students succeed in those early weeks? And what would you recommend people try and do if they're feeling like a little overwhelmed?
One of the things that I think is really special about BC Law is the community here. It's a place where people really do care about each other. I think the students find really quickly when they get here that people are really invested in helping one another, in pushing everyone towards their goals. Sure, people are working hard. Sure, there's some aspect of competition, but it's a really healthy competition. Again, trying to push everyone towards excellence. So the student body bond really nicely, and the faculty and staff really care about how the students are doing and really want to see the students succeed. So I think one of the things you can do here is never hesitate to ask for help. Ask people, to step up and do things for you if you think you need them. Do the same for others, and you'll feel that sense of community right away, and it will help carry you through this experience.
Well, thank you, Dean Rougeau, for talking to us today.
It's been a pleasure being with you, Mary.
Thank you for joining us to learn a little bit about what the 1L experience is like.
I hope that gives you a better sense of what BC Law is like and illustrates our goal of supporting you in every way possible as you journey through your 3 years with us. I also hope that successfully completing the 0L program will make the prospect of law school less scary and overwhelming. Our Academic Success Program is also available to offer more support, including workshops and individual counseling to help you adjust once you arrive. We are very much looking forward to seeing you in person on campus this fall. Best of luck completing the program, and we'll see you soon.